he calmly continues. I told you that I am he. So if you are looking for me, let these men go. Even at this crucial moment, Jesus recalls what he said earlier, that he would not lose a single one. John 6. 39. 17. 12 Jesus has kept his faithful apostles, and not one has been lost except the son of destruction, Judas. John 18. 7-9. Thus he now asks that his loyal followers be let go. As the soldiers stand and move toward Jesus, the apostles realize what is happening. Lord, should we strike with the sword? They ask. Luke 22. 49. Before Jesus can reply, Peter wields one of the two swords that the apostles have at hand. He attacks Malchus, a slave of the high priest, cutting off his right ear. Jesus touches the ear of Malchus, healing a wound. He then teaches an important lesson, commanding Peter, return your sword to its place, for all those who take up the sword will perish by the sword. Jesus is willing to be arrested, for he explains, how would the scriptures be fulfilled that say it must take place this way? Matthew 26. 52, 54. He adds, should I not drink the cup that the Father has given me? John 18. 11. Jesus agrees with God's will for him, even to the point of dying. Jesus asks the crowd, did you come out to arrest me with swords and clubs as against a Christ who's betrayed and arrested? Matthew 26. 47-56. Mark 14. 43-52. Luke 22. 47-53. John 18. 2-12, 284. Robber. Day after day I used to sit in the temple teaching, and yet you did not take me into custody. But all of this has taken place for the writings of the prophets to be fulfilled. Matthew 26. 55, 56. The soldier band, the military commander, and the officers of the Jews seize Jesus and bind him. Seeing this, the apostles flee. However, a certain young man, perhaps the disciple Mark, remains among the crowd so as to follow Jesus. Mark 14. 51. This young man is recognized, and the crowd attempts to seize him, which forces him to leave behind his linen garment as he gets away. Judas betrays Jesus in the garden. Peter cuts off the man's ear. Jesus is arrested. Why does Judas look for Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane? Trying to defend Jesus, what does Peter do? But what does Jesus say about this? How does Jesus reveal that he is in agreement with God's will for him? When the apostles abandon Jesus, who remains, and what happens then? 124, 285. Once Jesus is bound like a common criminal, he is led to Annas, who was the high priest when young Jesus amazed the teachers at the temple. Luke 2. 42, 47. Some of Annas' sons later served as high priest, and now his son-in-law Caiaphas holds that position. While Jesus is at the home of Annas, Caiaphas has time to assemble the Sanhedrin. That court of 71 members includes the high priest and others who had held that office. Annas questions Jesus about his disciples and about his teaching. Jesus replies simply, I have spoken to the world publicly. I always taught in a synagogue and in the temple, where all the Jews come together, and I said nothing in secret. Why do you question me? Question those who have heard what I told them. John 18. 19-21. An officer standing there slaps Jesus in the face and says reprovingly, Is that the way you answer the chief priest? But Jesus, knowing that he has done no wrong, responds, If I said something wrong, bear witness about the wrong. But if what I said was right, why do you hit me? John 18. 22, 23. Annas then has Jesus taken away to his son-in-law Caiaphas. By now those composing the whole Sanhedrin, the current high priest, the elders of the Jesus is taken to Annas, then to Caiaphas. Matthew 26. 57-68. Mark 14. 53-65. Luke 22. 54, 63-65. John 18. 13, 14, 19-24. People, and the scribes, have assembled. They meet at the home of Caiaphas. It is illegal to hold such a trial on the night of Passover, but this does not deter them from pursuing their wicked purpose.